The 1992 Los Angeles riots were fueled by socioeconomic disparities and racial tension that erupted in a chaotic six-day scene of looting, burning, and killing after a not guilty verdict was handed down in the police beating of Rodney King.
At the corner of Florence and Normandy in South Central Los Angeles Street.
They don't represent the people no more.
나는 우리 가게 막느냐고. 우리 가게는 못 부신다 그러니까 선지한 don't worry about it. I don't want to break it for you, please. 이제 얘들은 우리 거는 안 부신다고. 오케이. 그래도 나는 앉아 있어. 집에 가라고. 선지한 네 거는 봐줄 테니까 가라고. 그래도 나는 여기 앉아 있었지.
그때 폭동이 일어났을 때 너무너무 여기는 비참했어요. 아주. 앞에 좀 맞게 그 자리에 불이 나서 타고요. 또 세븐일레븐 뒤에 거기도 불이 나서 타고 또 저쪽 조금 한 5마일 정도 가면 그쪽에서도 불이 얼마나 많이 타서 올라왔는지 이 폭동 맞은 것처럼 그렇게 막 불이 타 올라와가지고 너무너무 무서웠고요.
3 o'clock, as I walked into my office, as soon as I walked in, telephone rang, and I answered, and the other person said, "What do you think?" I said, "What do you mean, what do I think?" And he was a reporter from the Korean newspaper, and not guilty. And I said, wow, something's going to happen.
Koreatown, Los Angeles. It's known for its tensions between blacks and Koreans, but on Saturday, all colors joined together for a massive march for peace.
I've seen the transition. We have had a lot of I've been in my business 34 years, and when I came in, it was predominantly black. It has transitioned, and it had started around that time. The tension wasn't as bad with the minorities at that time. It was like, we are equal here, so to me, it wasn't that bad.
But yeah, the black and brown, there was quite a bit of tension. I worked in an area that was close to what they call the projects, which would be the Jordan Downs or the Nicholson Garden, and there was a lot of tension going on there. It was like my location was in the center of the two. So I actually got to see a lot or experience a lot of the hostilities between the two races.
깡통 거기다가 이제 솜방맹이 같은 거 불을 붙여갖군요. 그 안에다 놓으면 막 깨구리 마냥 뛰어댕겨요. 탁탁탁탁탁 이러면서 불 나는 게. 예, 불이 나니까. 그러면서 파일 그 크래커 같은 걸 막 터지는 거지 빵빵빵. 그리고 파일병을 던지고 막 불로 막 던지는 거예요. 그리고 이제 여기 옆에 있는 애는 멕시칸 바인데 걔는 막 권총으로 막 쏘는 거지 이제 못 들어오게.
Rioters killed 56 people and caused more than $1 billion in damages. Every ethnicity suffered during the civil unrest. Korean Americans in particular suffered disproportionate damages, and at the end of the riots racked up $400 million in losses. During the riots, not only were Korean businesses destroyed, so were African American stores. The violence touched every ethnicity in Los Angeles.
4.29 폭동은 한국 간의 갈등에서 일어난 폭동이 절대로 아니에요. 그 뿌리가 있는데 그것은 이제 그 흑인들이 사는 사우스 LA 그 환경이 너무나 어려웠고 실업자 수는 높아지고 일자리는 못 찾고 그리고 교육 환경은 낙후되고 이런 것들이 연방 정부에 의해 가지고 조금 더 그 처우가 개선된 게 없거든요. 그러니까 그 사람들 흑인들의 그 밑바닥 속에서는 차별 대우를 받고 있고 있다 하고서 느꼈는데 이제 라드니 킹 사건이 일어났고 그다음에 이제 그 백인 경찰들이 무죄로 다 풀려났잖아요. 거기에 대한 분노.
When the smoke cleared, 53 people in Los Angeles alone had died. Hundreds of millions of dollars in property went down in flames.
Korean Americans suffered about 40% of total damages. More than 2,300 Korean businesses were affected, and total damage was about $400 million for Korean American businesses.
The damage had been done, and between 1992 and 1997, Los Angeles lost 3,500 585 Korean-owned businesses. Overall, California lost 24,207 Korean-owned businesses. However, over the years, race relations improved and the influx of Koreans continued to grow. By 1997, the drop-off in Korean businesses began to recover. And by 2007, there were 71,423 Korean-owned businesses in California and 13,509 in Los Angeles. Racial tension between blacks and Koreans was high during the 1980s and 1990s. Today, that racial strife has simmered down. Koreans and African Americans were able to put aside some of their differences and heal together after the riots.
마틴 루터 킹 퍼레이드에 한국 분들이 해마다 참석하시고 또한 물론 이제 한국의 정치인분들도 그 퍼레이드에 참석하면서 유대 관계를 20년 동안 지속적으로 돈독하게 해왔지요. 근데 이제 전체적으로는 제가 생각하기에 너무나 미흡하다.
The overall ethnic demographics of LA have also changed dramatically since 1992. The African American population has also decreased in LA County, while the Hispanic population has increased.
During the 1980s, majority of owners were Korean immigrants. But now you see a lot more Latino business owners, Arab Americans and Southeast Asian Americans have moved in as business owners. So there is a diversity of business owners in Compton as well as in larger South LA.
Yes. 20 years after the LA riots, one question does remain. Will and can something like the riots happen again?
Well, the likelihood of happening again is very high because all the structural conditions that ignited the riot in 1992 remains. The gap between blacks and whites, haves and have-not, and inferior quality of education in the inner city, and police brutality, and ethnic and demographic restructuring has pit one group against another. Therefore, unless we are beginning to deal with those structural conditions, it's perfect for happening again sometime. You never know, but not necessarily in Los Angeles, but anywhere in the United States, it's a definite possibility.
I mean, it's always possible, but with the way our world is changing right now, I mean, we even have a black president, I don't see it being so much likely as it was back then. I mean, the world is just a different place. It's not completely, free of racism, but it's come a long way. So I don't think it'll happen, at least not anytime soon.
너무나 억울하게 당했다. 그래서 우리는 지금서부터라도 정치적인 파워를 가져야만 이런 일을 안 당한다 하는 교훈을 우리 후배들한테 가르쳐줄 의무가 있다 이 말이죠.
Bring jobs back to America.
As we look to the future and remember events like the 1992 LA riots, we have to ask ourselves how we can prevent another civil unrest. It's in our hands.